pre-K, I know we talked about the first day of spring, and something that happens this time of year is we tend to have a lot of rain, and we tend to have some storms. There's different kinds of storms. The storms we have around here are just a lot of wind and rain. If you live near the ocean, there might be a hurricane, which is a bigger wind and a lot of rain. Or you might live somewhere where you have a cyclone. There's a lot of different types of storms. This is a fun story about Clifford and the big storm. Hi, I'm Emily Elizabeth. Have you met my dog Clifford? We have some exciting adventures together. Last summer, he took me to the seashore to visit my grandma. A seashore is another word for a beach. So they've gone to the beach. Now they usually call certain parts of the beach seashore, but a beach is sand up against the water, and this house is very close to the water. Clifford loves the ocean. It's big enough for him to swim in. One day he couldn't go swimming or fishing. He heard that a big storm was coming up the coast. So see, she says, children, you can't go swimming or fishing. They heard it on the radio that a storm was coming. The police told everybody along the shore to leave their houses and go to a safer place. My mom and dad lived on the beach, and they had to do that. They would come and say, everybody must go to the shore. Everybody must go inland. Everybody must go inland. So that really happens. Grandma hated to leave her little house. Oh, look at this. She didn't want to leave, but she packed up some things to go because the water can come over the whole house. Clifford took us away from the beach to a high school gym. You know, like the gym we go to. They put all the people in that gym so they would be safe. We were safe there, but Clifford knew that Grandma was worried about her house. He hurried back to the beach. The wind and the rain could not stop him. The storm was bad. The trees were falling down. Look, it's taking the trees up by their roots. That's how strong the wind is. That happened to us several years ago on May 8th. Right out in front of my house, a big tree was pulled right out. Big waves were crashing up on the shore, and Grandma's house was in danger. Clifford had to do something. First, he picked up some of the fallen trees. He piled the trees in back of Grandma's house and covered them with sand. The sand pile would break the waves, would protect it. While Clifford was packing down the sand, he saw a bolt of lightning, and it hit the lighthouse. You ever seen lightning? The lighthouse began to burn. Clifford knew just what he had to do. Oh, sometimes lightning can start a fire. Look at that. Look what happened there. Clifford knows just what to do. Whoosh, the fire was out. Looks like he took the water from the ocean, put it in his mouth, and he blew the water onto the lighthouse to make it go out. Then, over the roar of the storm, Clifford heard another sound. It was two puppies. They were very, very scared. Oh my. Clifford reached the puppies just in time. Look at that. The ocean water was going to overtake the puppies. Oh my goodness. He made sure his new friends were safe. Then he ran back to Grandma's house. Oh, there was more trouble. Oh, look, he got his friends safely where they needed to be. He put out the fire, and then he went back to Grandma's house. But there was more trouble. Uh-oh, I wonder what it is. Clifford, there was more trouble. Two boats were loose in the waves, and they were about to crash. the water was so strong it was pushing them around and they had no control over where they were going. Clifford brought them safely ashore. Look at that. He just picked them up. Lucky Clifford, such a big dog. The waves kept getting bigger. Clifford was afraid the sand pile would wash away. He lay down on the sand pile to guard Grandma's house. The storm kept blowing all night. We wondered where Clifford was. Look at that. Grandma and Emily Elizabeth are in the gym, and they're worried about where Clifford is. The next morning, the police said we could go back to Grandma's. So all the people are loading up on a bus or in their cars, and they get to go back to Grandma's. But look what the storm has done. It has hurt some of the houses and trees. Her house was safe behind the big pile of sand. But we didn't see Clifford. Look really closely at this picture, boys and girls. Do you see where Clifford might be? Yep. If you saw this little bit of red, it looks like that might be where Clifford is. Surprise! Oh, look. He jumped right out. Clifford was covered with sand, but Grandma was so happy she gave him a big hug anyway. We were all glad to be together again. Thank you, Clifford. He watched my friends and me build castles in the sand. Look at that. Did you ever go to a beach or a lake and build castles in the sand? If you haven't, you've built castles in our kinetic sand at school. I know you've done that in the sand table. Clifford built one too. Then we wanted to go fishing. Look, Clifford built a big castle. That's big enough for those kids to be in. Then we wanted to go fishing. There was no room for us on the fishing pier. Look how crowded it is with lots of fishermen. They're going to get their lines tangled up. But that didn't matter because we had Clifford. Clifford saves the day. Look at all the fish Emily Elizabeth has there. Can you see that? Emily Elizabeth has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fish. And one over here too. Over here. There we go. The end. So Clifford saved them from the storm. Saved Grandma's house from the storm. The end. Have a good day, Pre-K.